Hi guys, and thanks for watching the trailer for the docu-series Richard Baldwin, A Murder in Camelot. Now, just before we start the trailer, I just wanted to give you a bit of background to the trailer that you're about to watch. So firstly, I'd like to say a big thank you to my executive producer Jeffrey Reed for making this a reality, and also to everyone that was a participant on this docu-series. So Kerry Cassidy, Joanne Richards, Jimmy Church, Michael Schreck, Jill Hoover, Crossin Hoover, and many others. Thank you so much for making this a reality. So this is the first docu-series of its kind looking into frauds in the UFO and alternative communities that I represent as well. Now, some of the damage that this does to the communities is not only is it damaging to credible researchers, but it's also damaging to people's awakening. You know, when people are trying to explore the idea that, you know, there's a greater reality, and when it's met with misinformation and disinformation, you know, that's something that I can't stand. So, you know, I've made it my calling right now, or part of my calling, to show the opposite side of some of these so-called whistleblowers. So Mark Richards was arrested on July, I believe it was 13th, 1982, along with Crossin Hoover, for the murder of his friend Dick or Richard Baldwin. Now, he was sentenced for life without parole for the masterminding of the murder, and also for the setting up of the cult called Pendragon, which was going to take over Marin County as well. So firstly, I'd like to say, from all the research that I've done, that none of the claims of Mark Richards is true, and I've done a lot of research on Mark. So Mark was initially made famous, or is still famous, through a whistleblower platform called Project Camelot, which is run by Kerry Cassidy. Now, I went to Kerry, who Mark is her top whistleblower, to give her or share with her the information that I collected, and also to get her to be on as part of the documentary. Not only did she refuse to look at the evidence that I collected that she's not seen, but she also put a private investigator onto me to look into my past as well, which she published on her website. So you know, I've met the only sole surviving member of the family, Susan Baldwin, who was devastated to know that Kerry and Joe are giving Mark the platform that they are for him to spew his misinformation. So I'd just like to say, enjoy my trailer of Richard Baldwin, A Murder in Camelot. On July 6, 1982, Richard Baldwin was murdered by Crossin Hoover and Mark Richards, a crime which became known as the Pendragon murder. Pendragon was the cult which Mark was the leader of. Now 36 years later, Mark is claiming to be a top-secret space program whistleblower, and was framed by the deep state for the murder of his friend Richard Baldwin.
I killed Mr. Baldwin. Mark stood right there right alongside me. So as far as him being in outer space, that's all bullshit.
Mark Richards was planning on taking over Angel Island, and he was recruiting all of these kids to be his knights, and that he never gave the reason why Richard Baldwin was the victim, other than the fact that Mark Richards wanted his cars and money.
The first hit, I hit him, he was standing right next to Mr. Baldwin. The second hit, he was standing about 2 feet back. When I stabbed him in the chest, he was right next to me. And then when I broke my knife in his chest, it was like a surgeon he handed me a screwdriver and said, finish him off.
He never mentioned a secret space program mission to me. I would have questioned that, that's for sure. But no, I never knew anything about that. 3 or 4 days after the murder, all of a sudden, he just wouldn't stop hugging me and went down on his knees and said, I could never, ever live without you. You are my whole world. And he was crying, and I said, what is going on? I said, what's the matter? He just said, I can't believe how much I love you, and would you love me no matter what?
Yeah, he's not captain of anything. I mean, that would be, I mean, if you've been locked up for a really long time and you're looking for something to do with your mind, then yeah.
And he's in constant contact with the Raptors, and they are now working, according to him, with our military.
We're not saying Mark Richards didn't commit a crime here, because he probably
didn't.
Well, okay.
He's absolutely framed.
When it comes to Mark Richards in particular, there can be no doubt that Carrie Cassidy has no objectivity. She's personally involved and invested in this story like no other.
Absolutely convinced there is a secret space program. It may not be to the extent of kilometer-long battleships that we've heard about, but I do believe there's a secret space program, and I've got the documentation, interviews, and notes to back it up.
And you know, what you find with the UFO subject is there's a definite reality there, and there's definite government secrecy. Genuine whistleblowers are people who have given us the ability to do some investigation of their claims. And if they can't do that, they're not a whistleblower.
Because we all look at this man who presents himself as this heroic, outstanding military man, and it's all a sham.
When I looked at the facts of the case, the best that I could, I just thought to myself, this guy's just schizophrenic.
He has been out to space numerous times, which I find fascinating, and I know he's been all around our solar system and our galaxy quite a bit.
Man of many talents. And fly spacecraft, come on. What more could you want?